Well, hello there. Welcome back to my little cozy comfort zone. And this comfort zone is about to get a little bit uncomfortable because I have a rant to make on a cryptocurrency that I came across the other day called Salt. So every once in a while, I just go on CoinMarketCap and start scrolling around, see what shows up that looks a little bit new and interesting. And there's one that showed up called Salt. And don't know exactly why I choose to click on it. Probably because I've been doing a lot more research lately on internet security in general, and salt is a word that shows up, so I wonder if that association kicked in. But, anyways, so I click on salt and I'm reading up on it, and I was like, all of a sudden, my heart is dropping to my stomach, and I am enraged, like effing furious, and I will tell you why. And that is because it is projects, not just coins, but it is projects like Salt that get our economy into a lot of effing trouble. And previously, loans that Salt are based in, and the types of loans and the type of, therefore, business model that Salt has, that type of behavior was very isolated to like the US housing market, for instance. But now that we're on a global scale with cryptocurrencies, projects like Salt, business models like Salt have the potential to completely F over aspects of the world economy. The reason for that is because just like with the housing crisis that happened, you had all these loans going out that weren't necessarily justified on good credit or good collateral for that matter. And that caused the US housing crisis because you have a bunch of people that, when push comes to shove, can't afford what they purchased, okay? So there's the US housing crisis. Now let's evaluate Salt and their business model. And what they do is they take cryptocurrency and allow you to use that as collateral to get loans in stable fiat currencies like US dollars, which to me is absolutely ridiculous because you have these currencies that, yeah, lately they've been booming and doing well, but you also have days where they're dropping by thousands of dollars a piece, if not more, like giant percentages. So if you take Bitcoin, for instance, or you take any cryptocurrency, you put that up as collateral, and then Salt lends you, for instance, US dollars, a very stable currency. So you're putting up this very new, volatile, unestablished asset, if you will, in order to gain credits, gain money, gain actual US dollars in what is therefore like a stable, well-established fiat currency to make purchases of goods and services with. So I can put up a bunch of Litecoin as collateral for a loan in US dollars, then Salt deposits X amount of US dollars in my bank account based on how much Litecoin I give them as collateral, right? And then I can go out and buy a home or a boat or, make decent amounts of purchases based on what their conversion rate is. But then here's what happens is like, okay, so I go out and buy this awesome yacht with the Litecoin I put up as collateral, but then all of a sudden the price of Litecoin drops off. Some awful news happens to where like regulations are going to change the value of Litecoin very significantly or change the value of any of those currencies relatively significantly. Then all of a sudden, I have to default on that boat. I have to default on that house. I have to default on that car loan because I no longer have the asset to, or the value in the asset to back it up. And that's how you end up with economic crises, just like what happened in the housing market, is because all of a sudden interest rates shifted or people started to realize they couldn't afford these mortgages, and so they started to default, and then all these houses go up into foreclosure, and then all of a sudden, so there's this giant influx of supply of homes that are ridiculously cheap and people that are without homes, and there's a giant economic crisis. Like, same type of thing happens if you effectively, indirectly buy a home with an asset like Litecoin or Bitcoin or whatever it's going to be, or Dogecoin for that matter, and then the prices of those assets totally go to crap because it's a giant bubble. Let's face it, they're all a bunch of beanie babies now, in my opinion. I still love them, but They're a bunch of Beanie Babies, .comers, you know. Anyways, so all of those blow up, and then everyone's defaulting on these loans and defaulting on these purchases, and there's this giant supply now of extra homes or boats or cars or whatever you use to make those purchases with, and that significantly destabilizes the economy because supply and demand can't accurately reflect the home, can no longer accurately reflect the home, the boat, the car, the plane, whatever it is. So, deep breath, deep breath. That's my rant on salt. I think a lot of people, especially in the finance world, were kind of out scouting and looking for what is going to catalyze the next big recession, financial crisis. And if projects like salt really take off and become influential in our world economy, then I can almost guarantee you that it's moves like that that are going to catalyze the next big global, at that point, recession, potentially depression. So be aware. And that's the other thing is that on the SALT website, it even states that they don't use your credit scores to evaluate whether or not you're going to get the loan. They instead just evaluate what your cryptocurrency portfolio is. So doesn't matter how much of a deadbeat you might have been in terms of like being wise with your money, as long as you have certain cryptocurrencies that they deem acceptable. And that's the other thing is like, okay, they have this evaluation of like what cryptocurrencies that they deem acceptable to give you out loans on. Yet this market is so new and volatile and unestablished to where there are no fundamentals to even evaluate the currencies on the first place. So it's like, I don't know. It's frustrating, but that's where I'm at now. Maybe I'm missing the boat somewhere. Maybe you know more about SALT and its business model to where it has mechanisms in place to make sure things don't go as awry as I foresee them going. If that's the case, by all means, leave a comment. I could use some extra information and comfort on this because right now I obviously don't have any or much at all. It's creative. Okay, on a positive note, as my dog's snoring in my lap, I will give them points on creativity for sure. I just hope that creativity isn't going to be what takes us down within the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. Anyways, I will catch you next time. Goodbye.